Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. I don't fall over there, Afro Mike, you puss. Let's see now. I got to get some water, very much. I'm ready. I'm not always 100% ready for Free For All Friday, but I am this week. I'm lying, I always am. Krusty Bombs here, Lude, Licks, Cody. Yeah, this, judging by how special everyone was, myself included, yesterday on Thursday. I can't even imagine what we're going to be facing here on Free For All Friday, but it's going to be so much fun to see it unfold. Hello, chap. Thanks, money on my mind. Jeremiah is in with us, and Brandon and Dowlord. The crew's all here. Excuse me. You can't hear me? You guys having trouble hearing me? Smelly old man. I'd argue with you, but all the evidence is in your favor. I'm just checking to make sure everybody's hearing okay. I am doing real good, brothers from other mothers. I appreciate that. Give me that sticky stuff. Okay, everybody here. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I never know. Every once in a while, well, we all know that Susan can be on the rag at any given moment. But then too, this OBS software, every once in a while, it has a seizure itself too. So I always like to make sure. Thanks, guys. So what do we? My therapist told me that time heals all wounds, so I stabbed him, and now we wait. That's pretty good, actually, Krusty. I like that one. He said it. If he didn't mean it, he shouldn't have said that shit. He kind of brought it on himself. Zonink says, this is my first free-for-all. What's happening? Oh, lots of questionable things. There's lots of bad touch goes on. Well, bad touch is like a pejorative term. It all depends. It's not necessarily bad touch. It depends on your perspective. I think it's high quality good touch myself. Well, thanks, Jeremiah. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, the way the virus is going right now. It's almost like the virus knew that we were getting close to a vaccination. It was like, well, let me get my shit going here before you guys start fucking around trying to kill me and stuff. I want to get a bunch of you. Downward says, I have a cat I named Susan. He's kind of a dick. Does he forget to notify you of things and give you dirty looks and scoldings for no reasons? Because that would be a perfect Susanism. That's what I'm saying, Lude. Depending on perspective, bad touch certainly can be good touch. Cody says, want to hear a Naruto pun? It has something to do with drugs. Where did you get your kush from in a garbage can? Kushina. Oh, did we have to pun Naruto's mom? Hi, Cypher. Good to see you. Exactly, Lifer. Bad touch, like most things, is subjective entirely. I mean, okay, the touching that I'm doing right now below camera, is that good? Is it bad? You guys probably wouldn't know. I would. It's a solid B-, I would say. Money in my mind says it's not bad touch if you don't snitch. Come here. That's like the old joke, money in my mind, about if you were out on a camping trip and you were all snuggled up for the night in your tent, and somebody came in, got inside your sleeping bag, and while you were sleeping in the morning, you woke up and your butt was like all sore and kind of worn out feeling. Would you tell anybody? And if they say no, you say, oh, cool, want to go camping? Yeah, that's... oh, Dragon. Yeah. I'd tell a Casey Anthony joke, but my mom would kill me. Isn't that Psycho? I thought I just read something about that Psycho is coming up for parole in a few years. Am I remember right? That was about Casey Anthony, wasn't it? Yeah, and the article I was reading said she had gotten into all kinds of
Oh,
trouble in prison earlier, and
yeah.
now she was trying to behave because she thinks she's going to get parole. And I guess she was banging guards, she was banging staff, and anybody she could get a hold of. Oh, it's good to have you again, Arthur. Says he hasn't made it stream for a while. I'm glad you made it in today. JFK was a very open-minded person, Ultra Luke says, but I feel like he could have considered ducks a little more. Wah, wah. Oh, Dragon Shears, I'm getting a dog that's name shortens to AOC. Oh, wait, there's already a dog with that name. Oh. Everybody's wound today. Brothers from Other Mother says, it'd be like, why does my ass hurt? And what is this weird taste in my mouth? Ha, ha. It's salty. Oh, we're right off the edge into the pit of grossness today. Poppy, Poppy says, I know doctor's appointments are slightly delayed, but an hour is not a little late. That's the worst. You got stuck, I take it, Poppy, in a doctor's office waiting an hour? I have to admit, my doctor's usually pretty good. They even have a sign on the wall, which is kind of surprising, that if, it says right up there, if you are, it's either 5 or 10 minutes past your appointment time, and you haven't been seen yet, please go up to the window and let someone know. So they're pretty good. I mean, my doctor's office they're one of the few I've seen that they don't overbook. They intentionally try and space out the patients to where you don't sit there forever.
Oh,
Arthur says, working a new job. I'm going to be switching again. Oh, are you? Switching shifts and stuff. I told you guys before, I used to do many years ago, I used to do some shift work. I never minded third all that much, but second sucked. Because second just takes up, there's not enough time in the early part of the day to really do anything fun. Then your whole afternoon and evening is gone, and then you get home and it's time to go to bed. I hated second. Oh no, phone call, which is, you were on an hour waiting on a phone call? Yikes, Poppy. Yeah, that would piss me off. Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm moving the website, for those who were in the conversation the other day and have seen it on Twitter. I'm moving my website after all these years with GoDaddy. I'm moving everything off of there now because I went to build the Curtis 2024 website, had all kinds of issues. So I go to call their tech support, which in the past had always been good. I get on the virtual helpline there, and it says, you have about a 9-minute wait. 31 minutes later, I disconnected the thing, and it's like, fuck you. You don't want my business. I don't have a problem with that. And now I'm setting the website up with a new provider. I got to move all my domains over there. Fun fact, ZF Ghost says, everything in the universe is either a potato or not a potato. True. There could be shades of gray within there, though. I'm kind of a potato. Interesting. Blue says, once again, I am in school, but this is more important. I agree. And I'm sure your teachers, your instructors, professors, whatever the case may be, I'm sure that they would understand that. What could possibly be more fun than hanging out on a Friday with a creepy old bald guy? I mean, they're going to teach you something that's more important than what you're going to learn here? I doubt it. And let me tell you, if they think they are, they're kind of arrogant as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Super Saiyan Monkey says, I bought an issue of Life magazine for the first time in my life, but only because it's a Queen issue. Oh, Queens. Well, you guys know that. Freddie Mercury is like an absolute hero to me. Freddie Mercury was just goddamn brilliant. Let's see. If the laws of the universe force me to choose, I will be a potato. Lude says, yeah, I'm probably with you. Yeah, I could dig the potato life. You get it? You dig the potato life because you dig potatoes. It's fucking funny. Come off of that right off the top of my head. You can tell it's Friday. I'm on point. And when I become president, a lot of the press conferences are going to go like this. I'll be yelling at America. God damn it, you better laugh because I came. That was some witty shit. Professor Curtis is what's up. Look, man says. Lifer says, been at this new job 2 months, and the manager wants to make me a food service manager. Sounds like a really good position. I'd be able to be in streams more too. Things are finally getting better. Well, that's good to hear, Lifer. I'm pleased to hear that. That's excellent. Make a food service manager. More money, sounds like. Excellent. Very good. Yes, more money is always a good thing. Yeah, good for you. I hope it all works out for you. Yeah, Shelby says, gonna have to listen to some Queen after this. Yeah, I got them. I think we all do. Got our own little. Of course, I can't play it any because Susan will come. She'll stab me right in the throat. But just my most used playlist is right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, God damn it! Stop doing that. Let's see. I don't have them put in order here. But yes, Queen. Oh, there's Killer Queen. Oh, that's such a great one. Killer Queen, Fat Bottom Girls. Yeah, they're all here. The show must go on. I think that show must go on. I think is one of their more underrated songs. I mean, not that it wasn't a hit, it was, but it's generally not talked about as much as many of the others. And that's a great song. I love that song. $17 an hour, nice, Lifer. Excellent. Thank you, Big Green says, hilarious. I know that right off the top of my head. Dig it, potatoes. You dig up potatoes? That's so funny. Brother says, I fell last night and now I have a lump on my head and I have the worst pain in my head. Or this is what a hangover is like, but I don't know because I don't drink. Oh, shit. Well, as you guys can well imagine, I've had a lot of those mornings with a lump on my head. If it was just a lump, I was actually grateful if I wasn't, patching up a major laceration too. So yeah, as a connoisseur of brain trauma, head trauma, concussions, I can sympathize.
Yeah.
Money in my mind says I keep money in my mind, but not in my pockets. Been there, brother. Been there. Gooshman Pirates, bad touch all the hotties. There we go, Yarbra. Yes, yo ho indeed. What are you calling a hoe? That could be me. I would consider that a compliment. It's terrible. Are you guys like this too? Now, me with money, if it's to spend on something for myself, I'll always find ways to talk myself out of it. It's like, you don't really need that. And yet when it's something for the grandkids or something, some stupid superfluous thing, and it's just like, oh man, my grandson, my granddaughter like that, you don't even think twice about spending it. I got too much of this paternal instinct thing going. It's probably why I don't have any money. Got scooped as boss because of Karen? Yarbra says. Susan, okay. Susan, that made more sense. Okay. Chrome says, well, that's it. As of 24 minutes ago, I'm officially in lockdown. I'll be fine if I leave my area, but my work will still be open for some reason, so lockdown will just kill small business. It's that harsh over there, Chrome? Wow, there's... Boy, I don't know, guys. That's a tightrope to walk, but I and again, for those who don't know, Chrome is in the UK. She's not here in the United States with us, but I do think there's some overreach going on by a lot of governments with all this, especially when you consider the virus and what we know about it, what we know how much we know about how to go about protecting ourselves from it, and what people are most specifically at risk. I think it's a little bit of an overreach, some of the stuff they're doing, and I don't think it's going to have all that much of an effect. And if you look at the numbers, for instance, the states and localities in America that have remained the strictest with restrictions throughout are not doing any better than the states that did not. I know people don't like to talk about that because what they're afraid is more people will just not do what they're supposed to do. But too bad. Facts are facts. this virus, and a lot of epidemiologists said this when it first began, and I was reading up on it. Some of the top epidemiologists, because these COVID viruses are not new, they said these things, you can do what you can do, again, to flatten the curve, that type of stuff. But they said, the epidemiologist said they're going to do their own thing. You cannot stop them without a vaccine. Arthur says, I prefer third shift. I like third. With customer service, the later it is, the less work you have to do. Oh, that makes sense too. Also, I'm dating a Japanese girl now. Really? Found out afterwards. So graveyard shift puts us on the same schedule. Oh, that's cool, Arthur. Hey, M's the stream boss. That's cool. Yeah, I like third. I hated second, and first was okay, but I always liked third shift. But I was one of those people, I didn't have a problem with sleeping. I could get off the shift and get a good few hours and felt fine. M says, want to say thanks for the talk we had yesterday. Made me feel better about some things. Oh, not a problem. Much appreciated. I would say punch backs if you could. He'll be here soon, M. He comes back Wednesday. He'll be back Wednesday. He'll be within arm's length. And yeah, absolutely. And everything we exchanged in that conversation was, as 100% sincere. I meant every word of it. And that's the one thing I've told you guys. I can always guarantee you. I'll always be up front with you. I've never been the type. I don't believe that blowing smoke up somebody's ass does anybody any good. So if I have something negative to say, I will say it, or I'll say nothing. But I never, I never try and prop people up when there is no basis for it or something. I don't want to go into great details what Em and I talked about, but Em, like many of you here, are people that are very, very important to me. Arthur says, oh, also, yeah, I spend money on others, but not me. Yeah. And so I'm not the only one. It's like, and my wife even yells at me for it. I'll be like, I can't show you today. These actually aren't too bad. I'll have socks with holes in them and shit. And my wife will, we're in the store and she'll go, grab a pack of socks. I'm like, nah, fuck it. I don't need socks right now. And then you go down the next aisle and there's like a toy or a video game or something like that. And it's like, whoa, Brax or my grandson or my granddaughter, they had said something about wanting that, and I'll buy it. And it costs 3 times as much as the goddamn socks were gonna. And my toes are still sticking out my socks. And they're gross toes, especially the right one. The right big toe is the one I told you guys about that I broke off years ago in that accident in the gym. Snapped that fucker off. All that was holding it on, for those of you who hadn't heard the story, was just a little piece of skin was holding the top, but it split right in the middle, right at that middle knuckle. Had to have a pin put down in it to hold it together and everything. Fun day. Dragon says, what's the difference between Lori Lightfoot and Batarians? Google image if necessary. I can't tell. Yeah, I don't know what Batarians are. Serious, hold on. Let me look that up. I don't think I've ever heard that term before.
Oh, yeah.
Batarians. Images. Oh, hello, Batarians. They're cute. And no, I don't know what the difference is. In Andromeda? What? Oh, from Mass Effect? They're from Mass Effect? Wow. Batarians are kind of hot, actually. I like them. Let's see. Jacob says, please help me. My dick is stuck in the elevator. God damn it, I hate when that happens. Elevators are dangerous places, especially for penises. Yeah, me too, Em. That's what I mean. She says, LMAO, me all the time with money. And again, I'm not complaining, but sometimes I'm downright stupid about it. Like I say, because socks or T-shirts. No, that's the one thing I do spend on. I will say that. And even my wife commented on that. She's surprised that I have the collection of anime T-shirts that I do, because I usually won't spend on myself. However, what she doesn't realize too is I justify a lot of it to myself is I can write those off. Because obviously, here at the channel, and even more so over at the Goosh, is where I have all my interactions with you guys regarding anime. And I buy these shirts because we all love anime, so I'm using them for making videos. So it's not like something I'm trying to slip by the IRS, completely legal. So all these shirts I buy, I get to write off. It's my own little fuck you to the government. It's like, hey, you're gonna let me do it. I'm gonna support Japanese cartoons, and you're gonna pay me for it. Arthur says my girlfriend keeps getting angry at me for buying her stuff. Well, you got a girlfriend that gets. I wish somebody would get angry at me for it instead of just going, "Cool, is there more?" Yeah, exactly. That's where I am too. She says I make sure my important things are paid for and secure, but then it comes to spending money and I end up buying shit I don't need versus things I do. Yeah, unfortunately, that's me too. Yeah. Eddie James Castro says I came across a meme that said sometimes you need a car ride to clear your head, and below the text it was a picture of JFK in the convertible. That's so fucked up. Oh, that's terrible. um, I we were just talking about that the other day in the house too. Like everybody remembers where they were exactly on 9/11, and somebody asked me, "Well, how old were you? Do
Oh,
you remember where you were when JFK got shot?"
yeah.
And I remember saying, "Yeah, I just pooped on myself." But that wasn't as funny a joke as I thought, because that could have happened last week too, because I would have been like a year and a half. So I thought I was a year and a half old. I thought I was making a funny joke, but then I got thinking that didn't, just saying that I shit my pants doesn't really date me all that much. Downward says, I tell my nephew and niece that they'll get nothing from me and like it. I definitely didn't drive from California to Oklahoma just for a dumb dog. You're gonna get nothing and like it. What's that? Oh, from Caddyshack. Isn't that what the
Oh,
Judge Smales tells his
yeah.
dopey nephew there? Justice for Spaz Chair. No, Michael, fuck Spaz Chair. I hope he's rotting in hell somewhere. I don't even believe in hell. I hope there is a hell, just so Spaz Chair can be rotting in it.
Oh,
He met the
yeah.
ultimate demise so far. Of all the deaths we've had occur throughout the history of the Spaz Boys comedy channel here, his was the most poignant, I think. Look up Snow Dragon on Urban Dictionary, Jester says. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on just a second, guys. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that one. I think it had to be something along those lines. That's pretty good. uh oh, Chance. Oh, you saw someone else. DQ got shut down there too. Dairy Queens. We used to have a lot of Dairy Queens around here. I like Dairy Queen. I think we have. I think we have one left. I'm not sure. I haven't been up there in a while. If anybody's feeling Googlish and wants to look, there was a Dairy Queen in yeah. Except I can't tell you where it was to find out. Oh shit, Lake George, New York. There was a Dairy Queen, and Lake George is about a little over an hour away from me. I don't know if that one's still there or not. Or no, I'm sorry, that wasn't a Dairy Queen. It was an A&W. So I don't know of any Dairy Queens we got around here now that I think about it. A&Ws I always liked too. There used to be a lot of them, and now there's just, again, that one unless they shut it down. Ultra Luke says, tell me how Hitler managed to take over half of Europe in just 6 years, but I'm still struggling not to burn my toast. The sad thing is Hitler was much more accomplished than many of us, myself included. Chrome says, lockdown restrictions. Fined if you leave council area. Fined for not wearing a mask. Fined for visiting someone's home. Non-essential business closed except food stores and homeware for some reason. Yeah, see, I just don't agree with that. I don't agree that is an effective means. From what we've seen, I don't think that's a particularly effective means of combating the virus. I am, well, some of those things. I am pro-mask, obviously. The mask, I think, helps somewhat. We know they're not perfect, but they do. You don't have to, it's not a great leap of logic to understand that the virus is transmitted through droplets, and if you sneeze or cough and you have a mask on, you're
Oh,
inhibiting the
yeah.
movement of those droplets into the air. So, I'm okay with that. But I think we're more at the point now where we understand the virus. We
Oh,
understand how it's transmitted, how it works.
yeah.
I'm more for government just telling people, listen, if you're in the high risk group, take cover. We've got vaccines on the way. We're going to get them to you as quick as we can. You guys take cover. Let's keep as much flowing as well as we can with some of the restrictions that are currently in place. Keep the restaurants open. Just make sure that the tables are a significant distance apart, at least that 6 feet apart from one another. Masks when you're out in public. Consciousness, overall consciousness. Be aware of what's around you and everything, and the frequent hand washing. Again, you just have to, the best thing to do is visualize that at any point you could have droplets on your hand, and just keep that in your mind. So you're hitting we can get hand sanitizer again in the stores. You're throwing a little hand sanitizer on. You're washing your hands. You're keeping your mask on. If you see people that aren't doing the same things or doing the right things, you just stay away from them. Stay out of their area. And when you do that, we're mitigating it as best we can. I just think it gets heavy-handed from government. Not only heavy-handed, it becomes counterproductive, because of things like what Cuomo did here in New York. When you tell people you will not have more than 10 people in your own home,
Oh, yeah.
they're not going to fucking pay any attention to you. They're going to resent the fact that you think you can tell them what to do in their home. If you came out and instead, just as we talked about, just inform people and ask them to please be conscious of who's in your home. Be aware. Invite family that you know has been careful, has been doing the right things. And if you know you have people that aren't flaunting, are basically thumbing their nose at the idea of this virus, just don't invite them this year. Don't have them over. That would work a lot better than telling people, I'm convinced, than trying to tell people, well, no, it's a numbers game. You can have 9 people. You can have 9 people over, but don't you dare have 11. It's fucking stupid. Zeno says, hello, FMAB, Death Note, and Shield Hero completed. Oh, Shield Hero, those who are over at the Goosh know. Oh, and I did fix it. I just uploaded, it was Shield Hero, right? That I uploaded Isn't that terrible? It was just minutes ago. Jesus Christ. Oh, no, it was Overly Cautious Hero. So at least I was right to doubt myself. Overly Cautious Hero was the one that just went up. Shield Hero went up before. Yeah, Shield Hero is good. I'm only a couple episodes in, but that's been good. That's been really. Overly Cautious Hero is funny too. I like that. I like the characters in there. I like our little goddess. Her name went right out of my head, and I just watched it. And Seiya is a tough character in Overly Cautious Hero, because I like him and I think he's a badass. I like how quick he's able to move up the levels. But yeah, his overcautiousness. Sometimes you want to bitch slap him over it. Morgan says, hi, Curtis. Did you hear about Kirby Morrow, Mikami and Death Note? No, I didn't. Just came out. He passed at 47? Oh, he was in behind the scenes on the G100? Oh, that's sad, Morgan. At 47? No, I didn't hear about that. Oh, man. That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Those behind-the-scenes videos were so good, too. I really enjoyed those. For those who don't know, that's something Morgan had sponsored over at the Goosh, was behind-the-scenes stuff on the making of Death Note. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. That sucks. Damn it. Chrome says, none of my government's decisions make sense. We'll be locked down until at least December 11th. Then they'll review it. This is the biggest shopping season for stores. They'll die. Threaten January lockdown. And that's the thing. There are certain, throughout the world, there are certain politicians who just don't see or fail to realize that some of these measures are worse than the virus themselves. And we're seeing it here in America. We know the rate of suicide is way up. The rate of domestic violence is way up. Listen, you got people on the edge. Again, just what Chrome's talking about. When you got people whose businesses are destroyed because of these lockdowns, you're doing just as much. I think you're doing more damage than keeping things open and doing it sensibly. I don't think you come out ahead of the game by hardcore lockdowns as opposed to intelligent measures, which were already in place. And people, there's in America here at least, I know like even our governor is starting to tread a little bit lightly around the topic because people are getting seriously riled about it, and I think he'd be really testing the waters if he comes with a hardcore lockdown attempt. And while he was having his little hissy fit the other day because reporters asked him mean questions, he doesn't want to actually answer for anything he does. He just wants people there to stroke his ego and stroke his whatever else for him. And he's very it really hurts his feelings if anybody doesn't just tell him how wonderful he is and instead tries to ask questions that are pertinent to his job and what he's fucking doing. But he has threatened himself. Well, we'll reevaluate this, and if this doesn't work, we'll have to take it further. Go ahead. Keep pushing it further. You already saw what the upstate part of your state has told you. The sheriffs up here told him to stick it in his ass with his 10 people limit and everything. I don't know, man. I if I was him, I'd be a little concerned about trying to push it further. But his ego, it won't phase him at all. Dragon Sphere said, I'm that red hair girl from Shield Hero. I'm so nice to everyone in that show. I mean, I did nothing wrong. Morgan says he was just reprising his role in Inuyasha, too. He was Moroku. Seemed like he was at the height of his career. Boo said, that is sad. 47. Jesus Christ. Way too young.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, you were responding to Johnny. Don't normally eat burgers? Oh, I eat way too many burgers. Cheese curds? Oh, cheese. Oh, no, cheese. But shakes, yes. Andrew says, I shaved my chest and now it feels weird and sure it's I've never actually shaved my chest, Andrew. I can't imagine though. It's got to feel odd. Because I just know how, especially like if I get a few days growth on my head, how weird it feels. I can't even imagine if you shaved your chest with that. Oh yeah, that just seems like it'd be odd feeling. Super Saiyan Monkey says, I also have a commemorative issue of Rolling Stone about Eddie Van Halen. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Eddie Van Halen was one of the true greats of rock and roll. Absolutely. Yeah, Yarborough, R.I.P. Alex Trebek. He beat stage 4 cancer, but the fight itself finished him afterwards. That's sad. He just, and Alex Trebek, I always thought was in a position where he could easily have come off as egotistical or narcissistic because it's like, here, I'm the man with all the answers type thing. But he never, to me anyway, he never did. He just always seemed like a good dude. I doubted that he was actually Canadian because I get all my world information from South Park, and his head didn't split in half when he spoke. But he just seemed like a really good dude, and it is sad that show. Wow, I mean, how many years was he the host of Jeopardy? No matter who they get, and I would still watch the show. I enjoy the show, but yeah, you'll never truly replace Alex Trebek. He was just him and Jeopardy are just one and the same, basically. Oh, yeah? So it says Alex Trebek and I have the same birthday. Nice person will be missed. Absolutely. I missed Super Chats, Arthur? Thank you. Appreciate it. I shaved my chest. I saw that. Oh, shit. Yes, I did. Thank you for telling me, Arthur. Okay, let me just double check. Just the two, right? Yep. Okay, I got Morgan's. Okay. Arthur said, I dote on my niece and tell my nephews that Poverty Bill's character. Oh, that's wrong, dude. I'm just preparing them. Get used to people finding your suffering funny. Your poor nephews. They got me running around going, Uncle Arthur's a little fucked up. That's pretty good. Dote on the niece and tell the nephews that Poverty Bill's character. That's brutal. Jacob, who's my favorite South Park character? Yours is Cartman. I don't know. It varies depending on what they're doing within a certain season. Probably overall, fucking Butters. Butters just cracks me up. and the groundings he gets and everything. Yeah, yeah. It's probably Butters. Let's see. I just saw something I was trying to read and it dropped down on me too quick here. Where'd it go? Oh, because I saw something about cheese curds. And Johnny was saying this to M. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'd never gone on a late night run just to get some of those delicious cheddar cheese curds. Oh, guys. God damn. And cheddar cheese, at least to me, isn't nearly as bad as that nasty ass American cheese. Oh, man. Even just thinking about it. Oh. I can't even adequately relay to you guys how absolutely disgusting I find those American cheese slices to be. Oh, jeez. The virus will become just like the flu when the vaccine is released. Well, the good thing we're seeing now, is of course, as they're getting further and further into the testing and getting results back, that we're at like 94 and 95% effectiveness with the vaccine, which is stunningly amazing because, you guys know I'm geeked out for that stuff. So I've been following the process the whole way, and epidemiologists were saying that before it even came out, before they were, this deep in, we're saying that if you can get up to 50%, that would be good for a vaccine. And so to be, hitting at a 95% clip, that's just freaking amazing. Now it's just a matter of getting all the final I's dotted and T's crossed and starting to get that shit out there. But Pfizer said as soon they can, the day after they get the okay, they can have millions of doses delivered, they're saying. And I know I've read reports from because this vaccine has to be kept in ultra cold temperatures. And I've been reading reports from different places around the nation where they said they're already getting the freezer situations all set up for them. And so hopefully, everything stays green. It looks like it's going to stay green, and we start getting these goddamn things out there. Morgan says next post because Susan doesn't like female dogs. And Morgan says, well, Kyle's mom's a bitch. She's a big fat bitch. She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. I didn't even watch South Park, but I know every word of that song. I think I told you guys, Morgan, that's exactly what got me into the show. That was back in the days of the internet, when internet video existed, but it was still back in the days where we're all on dial-up. And if you wanted to look at a picture, because I'd heard that sometimes there would be pictures of naked women on the internet. So I can only assume that if you were trying to look at a picture of said naked women, it would be like you click on the link to the picture and then you go have lunch and you come back and hope that 50% of it is loaded. So back then, you wouldn't really have videos, but they would upload sound files. And we didn't have Comedy Central on our local cable at the time, so I hadn't seen South Park yet. But the Kyle's Mom is a Bitch song came up on one of those sound files. I listened to that and laughed like a mental patient. I've been a South Park fan ever since. That's what really got me into it, was I thought that freaking song was so funny. Chrome says, so just realized now we're just about a year from catching up on One Piece. Scary how far we are, given it's near 1,000 episodes. It went by so fast too, Chrome. It really did. I mean, what I watched today, episode 604, I think I watched, and it's just amazing how fast it went by and what a great ride it's been. So much fun. And I mean this sincerely, I can't express how much I've enjoyed watching anime with you guys. It's just, and continue to enjoy it. And the thing of it was, when I started out in anime, I was like, I didn't know. I was like, okay, you got, well, I know you got the Dragon Ball thing, and I'd heard of a few others. I knew there's Naruto, and so I'm thinking, there's a handful of anime I'd probably enjoy. I had no freaking idea that it is as far as I'm concerned, and it's easy, the finest genre of entertainment out there. It's not even close for me. Icewave says, remember when Biden said he wanted to fight Trump? I do. Thought if they fought now in the old South Park episode and Cartman cripple fight? Yeah. Yeah, because Biden's... Biden didn't do himself any favors yesterday. It wasn't even so much what he said yesterday in that little press conference they had. He really appeared as a frail old man yesterday. Did any of you watch that? It's not even so much what he said. Most of what he said was cool, was certainly reasonable. He had a couple things that I had issue with, and one of the things was exactly why the whole Curtis 2024 thing exists. He was talking about one of his cabinet appointments upcoming, and what he assured everyone of. And I can tell you now, this appointment is somebody that will appeal to both the moderates and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Really? That's that kind of partisanship is what we worry about in our appointments, which is why, in a nutshell, and that goes for both sides, but that's why government isn't working. Because that's what you worry about. We're not worried about getting necessarily the best people in the jobs. We're worried about, well, how will everybody react to them? I don't want to upset anybody in my party. It's a fucking mess. Hey, Thomas, took over Stream Boss. So I saw that's the Undertaker's 30th anniversary this Sunday. That's crazy. I'm going to try and watch that. I'm a huge Mark Calloway fan. I think the Undertaker was probably the greatest character I've ever seen in wrestling. I'm going to try and remember to watch that. I did. Zeno, he says, did you watch South Park Pandemic Special? Yeah, it was funny. It was good. It won't be up there among the greatest thing for me South Park ever did, and what I measure everything else by was the Imagination Land trilogy. I just think that was pure brilliance. And I like the Pandemic Special, but and it's one of those things. If it's on, I'll watch it again because it's South Park and it's funny. But it won't make my top 10 though. But it was good though. Oh geez, saddest anime moment, Arthur. For me, it's Ace or Spoiler. I don't know that I can come up with just one. We've had so many phenomenal moments, and then from a lot of the difficulty in that for me is separating the sad from the bittersweet, because I'm somebody who loves a bittersweet ending, and we've seen so many bittersweet moments in anime that have affected me deeply as well. I saw moments in of all things, Nichijou. You guys know Nichijou. It's just pure random comedy silliness. And yet there were a couple moments in there that are among some of my favorite moments because of not even the bittersweetness, but the sweetness of the moment. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say a saddest individual moment. Again, because you're defining, and even the whole thing like with Arlong and what he did to the girls. As much as it's infuriating to me and has made him my most hated character, that was also sad. So it's like there's so many things that are a mix of emotions. What happened when Nina was brutally sad and yet infuriated me as well. And then of course you have the moments that were just pure sadness, like you say, Ace's death and Naruto's parents' death. It's hard. Dragon says last night's game was very fun to watch. Which one? NFL? You mean the Hawks Cardinals game was wild. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Chrome says, Biden contradicted himself and tossed out some of his policy positions already. It's sad, Chrome, but that is so expected from politicians that doesn't even surprise me anymore. And you're right, he did contradict himself. But it was just more, I was more concerned about his appearance. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not looking to slam the guy. As I told you, it doesn't matter who I voted for. I root for our president to do well. There's no reason to do anything else. So I'm not rooting against Joe Biden. I was kind of stunned. It's like I kept waiting for him to pick up the energy level a little bit, come to life. You're going to become president. You've got some monumental tasks in front of you. And he just looked like a frail old man. He really did. And that, again, that's not something I take any joy in saying. I'm concerned about it. Oh, Itachi's goodbye. Yeah, that's a good one, Morgan. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's so many. I don't know how when you talk sad moments, I don't know how you get that down to just one. Aces, thank you for loving me was heart-wrenching. Oh, absolutely. And then there's the moments that are sad and yet poignant. Like I've told you, you guys like Yagami's death. That's hard hitting to me, and I didn't like. It's not that. I think one of the reasons it's hard hitting, it's hard to describe. It's not necessarily just pure sadness. Light Yagami needed to go. I didn't like Light, and I thought it was perfectly apropos what happened to him at the end. But it was still so hard hitting watching him die on those steps, and then you cut away to Ryu scribbling away in his death note. God damn. So many just brilliant moments. Brilliant moments. There are more. I have been a movie buff was my whole life. And when I was younger, like most people, of my generation, movies were your big form of entertainment. I used to go to every movie I could go to.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the early years of like HBO and movies on cable, I caught everything. And not in the last couple decades, not so much, but still, I had a long history of watching movies. And all the stuff I've watched, all the movies, all the TV shows, and there's lots of great moments in there. But in just the few years I've been into anime, I've had substantially more moments that affected me on a deep emotional level than I had my whole life prior. I just think anime is better. It's better at creating characters in general. It's better at creating moments for sure. Zeno says it's either Koro Sensei death, that was tough too, or Night Eye death. Yeah, Koro Sensei was tough too, Zeno. Yeah, because with Koro Sensei's too, I didn't think that's how it was going to end up. And I really, really enjoyed that series. Assassination Classroom was really good. I was going to say underrated, but I don't think it's underrated. I think people appreciate it. It just doesn't get talked about as much. That's a great series. A really great series. Trebek wasn't from Canada. He was from America Light, Yarbrough says. Yeah, as far as sadness, I would agree, Dowlord. He said L's death hit way harder than Light's. Yeah, I would agree. As far as sadness, definitely. As far as just having an effect on me, I'd call them equal. They both hit me in different ways. Like I say, L's was more sadness and shock. Light's was more like, there, goddammit, you finally got what you deserved, but it still hit me hard. Yeah, that was just a brilliant series. Death Note is one of the masterpieces of all time. Ooh, yeah, good one, Dowlord. Robin admitting she wants to live hit hard. Yeah, up there in the tower, yes. Yeah, another good one. That one, well, you guys saw that. That one choked me up. Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, when Luffy's yelling at her to say it. Yeah, that was really cool. Agreed. So that's why when somebody asks something like that, I always hesitate to give an answer of what is my saddest or my most this or that, because I'll forget things. Just like that. Yes, that scene with Robin was. Oh. Hey, Adam, Stream Boss. Excuse me. Krillin's death in the original Dragon Ball. I saw that in clips. I'm gonna try and get another. Will John Boy said that. Hey, Adam. I will. I'm gonna try and get another episode of OG Dragon Ball up at the channel and at the Goosh soon, because I want to watch more of that. But I did see that original death in clips before, so I know what you're talking about. Morgan says next post, and here it is. For me, the more hard-hitting part was Light running riddled with bullet holes, breathing heavily and passing his old self. Brilliant performance by Brad. That's what I mean, that whole sequence, Morgan. It was just stunning. It was so well done. That show was so gripping throughout. I'm starting to see that too with one we're watching right now with Vinland Saga. Now, entirely different story, obviously, than Death Note, but both of them, like, keep you right on the edge the whole time. The intensity level of both of them are just things, again, that I haven't seen in anything outside of anime. I think 10 episodes into Vinland Saga, and if you haven't seen that yet, I highly recommend it. It's over at Prime Video. Oof. That's a good fucking series. I'm really enjoying that. But again, not in the story itself, but in the way it makes you feel watching it. It reminds me somewhat of Death Note. Chrome says there's a new flashback moments of Senku's dad in Dr. Stone that have really hit me hard. Like Senku's dad already had great flashbacks in the anime, but stuff later in the manga hits exceedingly hard. I can imagine. That's a well put together show too. Yeah, very well put together show, Dr. Stone. I'm anxious for more of that. Mephisto says the anime that got to me was Elfen Lied. I still haven't seen that one. And Lucy's whole life, also the dog scene and KO's childhood in Erased. You know, I talk about dog scene. I'm sure you're talking about Full Metal, right? Yes. I've only seen that scene of the ones you mentioned, but I've heard a lot about Elfen Lied. We used to talk about it a lot. Haven't heard as much about it recently, but we used to talk about Elfen Lied here in the streams and stuff quite a bit. Oh, today is Biden's birthday? I didn't know that, Chrome. He's 78. He's a frail old man with late-stage dementia. I honestly don't think you can expect much energy from him at this point. He's honestly in his twilight years. Yeah. And again, that's not something... I don't want to give that impression. That's not something I take joy in. I want the president to do well. It works out better for all of us if he does. It's unfortunate that we become a country that can't, for the most part, can't see that. If your guy didn't win, then it's, all hell breaks loose and you must resist that whole stupid horse shit. But that was really a little bothersome to me. It was just like, and I kept waiting for him to pick it up. It's like, come on, Joe. I mean, you're going to be president of the United States with all these challenges you're talking about, and you look like you barely were able to get out of bed this morning. That was a little concerning. Lud says, in general, for me, things happening to current characters will always hit me harder than backstories. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Mary's sinking. Yeah, I was surprised by how hard Mary's sinking hit me. And Robin wanting to live will always hit me harder than Nami's mom's death or someone. Really? See, I can't say I have a distinction there. I think it all depends on the story. Backstory or, current within the current time frame of the show. For me, that hasn't made anything of a difference. Well, obviously, because one of the hardest hitting things, you mentioned two of the hardest hitting things for me, and they're one of each. Mary's sinking shocked me how much that got to me. And of course, we all know what the whole thing with Arlong did to me with Bellamere. All the villains we've seen, and I fucking hate that Arlong. I despise that piece of shit. And again, of course, guys, please, no spoilers, but I don't know if we ever see Arlong. Well, nobody knows if we ever see him again because One Piece is still ongoing, but I don't know if we see him at some point again. But he's irredeemable to me. I don't care what he does from here on out. I just want nothing but the worst for that piece of shit. Dragon Sphere says, notice how names that start with A for villains are douchebags. Aizen, Akainu, Arlong, we got a we got a problem. You're right, Chrome. Presidents weren't always this old. Obama's only 59 this year. Yeah, he's easier for me to remember because Obama's the same age as I am. Bush is 74 now. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I completely agree. I couldn't agree more. And the thing of it is, people are living longer, and there are a lot of people of an advanced age that we see in politics, we see in entertainment, that are still sharp and on point. But obviously the risk for losing that sharpness becomes more and more significant as the years pass. And as somebody who's followed politics for a long time, it's hitting Biden. Whatever's going on, he's not as sharp as he used to be. And I think they do him a disservice by trying to lay it off on his stuttering problem because he's always had that. This isn't his stuttering problem. He gets lost in the middle of sentences and you can see where he can't focus his mind on the task at hand. That's unfortunate, and it is concerning. Dalward says the way Light got Naomi will never not irritate me. Yeah, Light was, and I wasn't sure through a lot of, I kept going back and forth on him in the early parts of the show. I think where he really tipped the scales for me was, and again, I always forget the name, but the cop's girlfriend, when he sent her to her death to kill herself, and he was all pleased with himself because of what he had accomplished, it's like, what the fuck, dude? There is absolutely nothing redeemable left about you. You're not doing this for the betterment of the world. You're doing this now because you want to be God. That was it. From that point on, I was like, okay, you got at some point you got to die, bitch. So that's why at the end it wasn't the sadness of his death. It was just the way that whole sequence took place that was hard hitting. Arlong is a douche, and I hate him. And again, that's a testament to the storytelling and the writing, because you're supposed to hate Arlong. And oh, man, I fucking do. It's just that, and you guys know anytime something bad happens to kids, it's going to tweak me, which is why the whole thing with Shao Tucker, obviously, as well. But even where we are now with Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
And what he's doing to those kids pisses me off. And I'm hoping he gets the shit kicked out of him. But it just doesn't get up there with what Arlong did. That hit me on such a personal level for those girls. Adam Stream Boss. ZZ Gaming says, haven't been in a minute. How are you, Kurt? I'm doing good, my friend. Good to have you here. I'm doing quite good. Thank you. M says it's sad when bad things happen to kids. Yes. So Nami and Robin's backstories are sad, but Brooks hit me in a different way. 40 plus years alone on a ship while all your friends, family are dead around you is shit. Couldn't agree with that more. That's one that, for whatever reason, I think this is similar to what you're alluding to here. It's almost like something that we can almost put ourselves in that position, as bizarre as it is, and just think of 40 years of drifting, and just drifting with nobody to talk to, and the people that were important to you, as Em said, laying dead all around you. That song, I'm so glad that we got together and we made that video over at the Goosh of singing Brooks' song, because that's one of my more favorite moments of things we've done in the channel or the Goosh or something like that, because I can listen to that song over and over and over, and the reason I can is just what M outlined here, is because it brings me back to that and Brooks' travels and what he went through. Just such good storytelling. Lude, personally, after L failed to defeat Light, I wanted Light to win. Really? Because after L, I didn't think anyone had character to deservingly defeat him. See, I can get that. I can appreciate that. That never happened for me because I just didn't like Light. And I wanted somebody to come along and take his ass out. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, L was Light's opponent. And anybody that came afterwards was still going to be playing second fiddle. That I do agree with. Chrome says, Brooks' backstory actually feels unique. I don't get that from the other Straw Hat backstories. There are more standard Brooks and Pirate's Life in comparison. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Yeah, they're more similar to the things we've seen before, Chrome. Yeah. And it is, again, to me, for whatever reason, it just is identifiable. It's one of those things where if you sit back, and I'm sure you guys are saying what I do, I spend too much time thinking about anime, but if you're sitting back and relaxing and just thinking about things you've watched or anything specific within anime, I can almost feel the loneliness of what Brooke went through. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel hollow almost to think about that many years of solitude. And the way they find him, in the fog and everything. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Let's see. Mephisto says, Curtis is not going to like your race because of, chaos, childhood. See, and I assume that's what you're talking about, obviously, is bad things happening to kids. It does. It really gets to me. But when handled properly, it's still an important element of the story. It's just like, I guess, Arlong is a good example. I don't want that to have happened. I would have liked to have seen Nami and her sister grown up with Bellamere as their mom. Hey, Fat. But it did happen, and it becomes a very integral part of everything else going forward. So it's kind of like a mixed bag there. But yes, it does make me hate characters. Big Green agreed. He said, right, I don't like that somebody else swooped in and took the win against Light. I can get that. I can see where you guys are coming from with that. It's just that, again, and you guys know me and the whole God complex thing, I don't like characters with the God complex. So when Light started taking those next steps, because he was, come on, Light was an arrogant kid right from the beginning. But just because he was arrogant didn't necessarily mean that I believed he was going to step from, hey, this is an opportunity for me to make the world a better place, which I think was his honest intention at first, to going, okay, well, the world may or may not be a better place. All I know is I'm going to be king of this fucking world. That step was not something that necessarily had to happen. And when it did, I was like, okay, fuck you, dude. You got to go. You just got to go. Let's see. Downlord says, I get why Nier won when L didn't. L was lonely and wanted a friend, and ultimately that was his downfall. Good point. But that doesn't make Nier any more endearing. Yeah. And I think too, Downlord, as other people have basically alluded to, Nier was in a tough spot. It's just like, it's like being a stand-up comic and going out there to follow Robin Williams. The guy he was following, there's no way to measure up to. So as a fan base, it's going to be extremely difficult to get a lot of people hardcore in your corner rather than just still be lamenting the fact that Ella's gone. So yeah, he was in kind of a no-win situation. Chrome says, I wonder if Nier and Mello were actually Elle's kids, it would have made the ending better. I don't know. You think it might have given you a bit more rooting interest, just what I'm talking about for them. But yeah, even then, Chrome, just for me, I mean, just my opinion on it. I think it was always going to be a losing proposition to have to succeed L. No matter what your relation. I just don't think it was ever going to work out well for them. Or I shouldn't say work out well. I don't think it was ever going to put them in a position of being able to, at least from the perspective of a fan, to adequately replace L. Ooh, good one. Super Saiyan Monkey, Vegeta's sacrifice made me tear up. That was one of the real early anime moments that got to me. Yeah, absolutely. That when I watched that one in that clip, that's one of our most, I think that's one of our most watched videos. I'm not anal on things like that. I don't track all our views and stuff. I just put stuff out and hope people like it. So I don't know let me see if I can find it. I have no idea, but I know for a while it was one of our most watched, the reaction to that one. Let's see if I can find it. Vegeta's sacrifice. Yeah. Yep. For us, that's a lot. 1.2 million views on that video.
If you are, please.
Yep, 1,261,000 views. That's one of the most watched ones we've had, and that was again one of the, if not the first times that anime really, really significantly punched my feels. Summer says, I actually really love the idea of Mellow. Now that's cool. Now see, that's just saying that goes to show that there is a different take on everything, especially in a series like Death Note, and I like that. The genius who actually bested Light at one point, but through sheer chaotic energy. See, I like that. I like the fact that everybody can have a different perspective on the characters. See, for me, Mello would never quite live up to L, but then to somebody else, it's like, okay, Mello not only lived up, Mello was the one who could take L down. So it's fun to see everybody's different take on it. Chrome says we'll be getting a lot of great series back in January. Dr. Stone Season 2. Can't wait for that. Promised Neverland Season 2. My Next Life is a Villainous, and some great new ones like I'm a Spider. So what? Oh, I hadn't even heard of that one, Chrome. Yeah, Promised Neverland. I'm anxious for that one. And Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone was another anime that has a great feel to it as well. A very unique feel. The first anime that really hit me hard with, I don't know if I'm describing this well, with giving me a specific feel for the entire world that it takes place in was Samurai Champloo. And Dr. Stone did that same thing. It just, the world in which they exist was really easy for me to put myself in. And I think with all good storytelling, fuck off, Train. With all good storytelling, that's true to a certain degree, but some it really sticks out for you. And again, Champloo did, Dr. Stone did. After that, I have to start thinking. But it's not to say that that makes them my favorites. It just means that the world that was structured there is something that I found myself being involved in and feeling like I was a part of really, really easily. So that's good. Doing good. Well, Paul, he'll be back home Wednesday. He'll be here for a couple months. He'll be back with us. Big Green says Mello was a lame-o. There's my deep analysis on the character. Poppy says Mello and Near being Elle's sons. I'm with the author who said he couldn't picture Elle having sex, much less having children. Well, there is that. I didn't think of it from that perspective, Poppy. That Elle, yeah, Elle. The only way I could see, okay, that's a good point, Poppy. The only way I could see Elle having fathered kids is in the aspect of there was so much about Elle that was quirky and bizarre. It might just have added another level to that quirkiness that he was actually like a hound, a sexual hound. Morgan says, got to get ready for some meetings. Ooh, I understand, Morgan. Great chatting with you. Talk to you soon, Uncle Curtis. Dropped your message at the Goose. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. Thanks, Morgan, for being in with us while you could. I appreciate it, hon. Enjoy your meetings as best you can. Let's see. First anime, mine that I can remember fully watching was High School of the Dead. Nate? High School of the Dead, yeah, that was a good one. High School of the Dead was good. That was fun. That's a quality. When you got that kind of quality zombies and titties together in one storyline, you really can't go wrong. Ed leaving and the entire last episode of Bebop gets me every time. Also, Hugh's death. Willie, that Ed leaving is one of my moments too. Those bittersweet things. Yeah, well, but you guys know I was a huge Radical Ed fan. I just think she's a great, great character. I just loved her just goofy, fun-loving demeanor in the face of anything, and of course the brilliance she had as well. But the way she left, yeah, that's a hard-hitting one for me. I have, it's in the laundry right now. I have that one of the new T-shirts I bought is of Ryuk sitting up on that pole there, writing in his death note, and I would love to get a T-shirt design that has Ed's departure with the dog. That was just, and the note she left. God damn. Yeah, and the entire last episode of Bebop, I agree. It's fun. I mean, I find myself getting absorbed into just thinking about this stuff as you guys bring it up. Yeah, and I have to tell you guys, too, those of you at the Goose have seen it. We just finished up Doro Hidoro. That was sponsored by Mr. Host most recently. I think Lachlan started it, I believe, and then Mr. Host picked it up. And Doro Hidoro is great, quirky, weird, fun, awesome. I love the characters in there. But another character that surprised me by how much I liked him is Abisu. Abisu is one of the greats of all time, too. Just because she's just so fucking far out there. And again, it's a similar thing to me. You'll see this. I like characters who are flighty and fun-loving. And that, when they're going to that party, and Abisu gave herself to giant boobs and everything. She's just the best. She's just so much fun. I love her. Aziria says, good day to you, Spaz. How's the Dark Souls 3 coming along? Well, what we did, and good day to you, my friend. What we did was I put out a poll, and I discovered that when it comes to streams, the gang here enjoyed more of these chat streams and the interactive games like Among Us more than they did watching me play the other games. So that's what we've moved to. So I haven't gotten any further in Dark Souls 3. Still have it on my desktop, but haven't gotten a chance to play it. Zeno says that moment when L went to light and revealed himself. That's an anime moment where you think to yourself, is that guy crazy to be killed? Yeah, that there were so many, and I agree with you, Zeno, on that one. And there were so many really poignant moments within that show, within Death Note. And you know, they were able to hit you with what the fuck moments, and it never felt like they were writing it just to hit you with a what the fuck moment. It all worked so well. God,
Oh,
you guys just got me.
yeah.
You got me today. The way the conversation has gone, you got me wanting to watch so many different things over and over again. I can't even keep them all straight in my mind. Super Saiyan Monkey said, "Vegeta's sacrifice made me tear up." Yeah, we were talking about that one earlier, Monkey. That's what I was saying. That is the reaction video I did to that one. Is one of our most viewed videos. I just checked it. It was 1.2 million views on that one, and it was. I'm trying to remember. Might be the first time, if not the first, one of the very first times that I really, really got annihilated in the feels by anime. Rosa said, my white dad had the privilege of beating up his Latino wife for disagreeing with him on the existence of white privilege. I hate my... Oh, Rosa, I'm sorry to even hear that. That stuff just... That makes my skin crawl. Makes my stomach turn. I can't even imagine. Caesar's death in JoJo was really sad. Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. But it wasn't as much Caesar's death, but JoJo and Lisa's reaction to it really hit hard. Yeah, agreed, Windhelm. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Yeah, yep, another tough moment. Chrome says, "Oh, speaking of Cowboy Bebop, Netflix. Who the fuck is Netflix? I don't know. I'm gonna buy that domain though. Netflix is messing up their live action more. Gwen will now be non-binary woman, so they'll probably try and push politics where there was none with him." When Netflix does an adaptation of anime, because of their track record, I immediately kind of almost tune out anyway. I just don't expect it to be good because of shit like that. I think Netflix is, for the most part, a bunch of douchebags, to be honest with you. That doesn't surprise me at all. It really doesn't. Happy Friday to you, Adam. And Big Green agreed. He said, yeah, their reaction hit me harder than the actual death. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Yeah, that I wouldn't have thought of that one. Rosa says, oh, I'm sorry, replying to Chrome, I'm trans, and I find it offensive that they're trying to make cis characters trans for social justice. The only thing I see is a bunch of cucks trying to get the SJW monies. And to me, Rosa, it just seems like so obvious at times. I mean, there are plenty of great stories you could tell that involve trans characters, but it seems so obvious at so many points that whether it's trans or whatever the case may be, whatever group that they want to try and get over, instead of writing a good story about a member of that group, they just, I think that's what you're alluding to. They just try and insert that into something that's already existing and already hot and good. And it doesn't fit. And it doesn't look like it fits. And I don't think it has the effect that they want. You want if you're going to have a trans character, you want it to be a hard-hitting character that people will like, enjoy, or if it's a villain, hate, whatever the case may be, on their own merits, and not immediately think, ooh, that was awkward the way that this character was just thrust upon us. And I don't know. It's interesting to see that someone who is trans sees that same way I do. It's like, there are plenty of stories you could tell. It doesn't even have to, the story doesn't have to be about the fact that the character is trans, but there's plenty of stories you could tell about trans characters without trying so hard to inject them into an existing storyline. Zeno says, would you live without anime or without COVID-19? I would like to live without COVID-19. I'm not going to live without anime. No, then it's just time for me to go if I don't have anime. Trump has a legit cameo in a Death Note novel. I think somebody... That sounds familiar, Money in My Mind. I think somebody showed me a while back. That sounds familiar. That sounds like something I may have seen at one point. But again, you know how bad my memory is. Yeah, I did. Somebody sent me that. Somebody did send that to me. Dalord says, this is why I hate live actions. And the thing of it is, Dalord, I think live actions could be done well. I just think that you get people like Netflix and their muckety mucks involved to get their fingers into a creative process in which they have no knowledge of what the fuck they're doing. Let's see. Johnny says, for me, the saddest death in anime was Kamina's death. I gotta remember. I gotta go back to that one. Hold on a second. I'm having flashes of it. I gotta remember the details of it because I don't like to comment on it until I get the. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay. That's because. Let me see if I can. Oh no, I can't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an underrated series too. I thought. I end up liking that as much as I. Oh yeah. There's. Bro. Yeah. Okay, now, yeah, that's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. Yes, that was a unique series. That one falls into the category too of series that had a really, really good feel to them as well. Yeah, that's a good call, Johnny. I would have forgotten completely about that one. But yes, that was a good call. That was very hard hitting. I remember while that happened, it's like, okay, that there's got to be more to it than that. He's not really dead. I just it just didn't seem that's how well it was done. It didn't seem possible that he could actually be dead. And I mean that went on for some time, episodes after. It's like, no, Kamina's not gone. And he was. Bone Clay is a perfect example of a good LGBTQ character. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Arthur. Yeah, at no point does Bone Clay seem to be anything but genuinely who he is. To me, anyway, you never felt like he was put in there because somebody felt that you needed to represent a specific group. It's because Bone Clay is just fucking fabulous. That's why. What a great character he was too. That's a good point. That's a good one to bring up, Arthur. I would have forgotten about that. Bone Clay is one of my more favorite characters. Ended up being in One Piece. Yeah, he was great. And again, you guys know how characters that have that devotion to their friends and devotion to the people that are important to them, and you can't get any more devoted than was Bone Clay. Chrome says, if you want good quality LGBT stuff, just look at shoujo anime, like you've seen gay characters in Cardcaptor Sakura that they don't make a big deal about. Right, and that's what I mean, Chrome. I agree with you guys 100%. And Bone Clay is a good example as well. It's a character that's who they are. It doesn't feel like they were forced into that situation. It feels like that's who that character always was going to be, and would not be as good a character if it weren't for that element of them. And then you get characters that it's just like, and you can tell it's been done. It's like, well, we've got a series that's doing well here, but we feel, group X, Y, or Z is unrepresented. So let's just stick a character in there and everybody will think we're cool. Everybody will praise us. And it's not how it works. Let's see. The more Chrome talks about the Bebop live action, the more depressed I get. Dalworth says. Well, again, as I said, for me, Netflix and live action adaptation, as soon as those words go together, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm out. That's a tough one. Knight 50, NTE 50. Were you glad Naruto and Hinata ended up, or do you wish he ended up with someone else? I never had, to be honest with you, a lot of ship rooting interest with Naruto. But I can't say that I'm disappointed he ended up with Hinata. I didn't want him to end up with Sakura. So yeah, that was never a relationship, and I think it was because of the weakness of the writing of the female characters, where I got really invested into who Naruto would be shipped with. I always thought it'd be Sasuke, but no, as I talk about, no, I think Hinata is the best call in that situation. They are good characters, despite not because of it. Right, exactly, Arthur, exactly, and that's what I mean. That Bone Clay was a perfect example. Because Bone Clay is anything but the fabulous individual that he was, would just not be as interesting to me. He the spinning, and he was just the best. Lude says the issue with these characters representing, in quotes, LGBTQ, etc., is that they're made LGBTQ first and everything else comes after. That's not how you write characters. It's backwards. That's why Bone-chan is MVP. Yeah, Bone Clay. Bone-chan is MVP. I agree. I agree. And you're right, because it was done so well. I can't imagine having the affection for Bone Clay that I do now if he weren't that character. That was what made him special. It was so perfect. Great character. Fantastic character. All right, guys, unfortunately, I got to go. This was a great Free For All Friday. Thank you. You guys have got me so jazzed up for watching so many different things. We've talked about so many great moments, some of them that I hadn't thought of in so long. And oh, man, I am, as far as entertainment and my enjoyment of entertainment, there is no bigger event in my life, and it's not even close, than you guys having turned me on to anime. And I always think back to that. And when you guys were trying to get me to watch certain things, it was DBAZ and all that stuff, DBZA and all that stuff. I remember thinking, it's not that I hated anime because I didn't know anime. It's just like, I don't know, Japanese cartoons. And I love cartoons. But it's like, I don't know, that Goku guy and everything seems a little bit over the top. And if it weren't for you guys pushing me towards it, I never would have done it. And there is nothing I've enjoyed in entertainment, not even close to the way I enjoy anime. Well, I was somebody who never had on anything but Notre Dame gear prior to that, and now I don't even want anything to do. Drives my wife nuts. She has to force me when we go out to wear anything other than an anime shirt. It's like, that's all I want to represent. That's all I want to think about. That's all I want to be involved with. So I'm pretty fortunate for it. I'm really having a good time with it. Now, the important part of the day is the stickies. Oh, hold on. Arthur says, you make characters endearing by showing people what you have in common with them, not by forcing people to accept what they don't relate to. Agreed. And again, Bone Clay, perfect example. Because whether you liked Bone Clay as a character or not, he is who he was, and he was always going to be that person. It never felt forced. That's just Bone Clay. And yeah, I agree. Well, bye, Bald Anime Goosher. Thanks, Zeno. Zeno's got the cups out and ready. As I said, it's Free For All Friday. The sticky stuff, as always. Free For All Friday, sticky stuff. We know it's always extremely exceptional. But I'll tell you, it just seems like throughout the course of this stream, with all the talk of anime we've done and the fond memories that it's brought up, it's given something a little. It's given the sticky stuff a little extra pop. I'm thinking today's sticky stuff might be a little alcoholic, and I don't even drink alcohol. I think I've had such a good time. I've fermented a little of the sticky stuff. So you definitely want to get your officially licensed Free For All, your officially licensed sticky stuff fanny pack on, and you're going to enjoy this sticky stuff. But be careful, don't over imbibe and then go driving. I think a little of this is fermented. There's a little kick to the sticky stuff. So here comes. Pampu, 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 pampu. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Whoa. Oh, I got a little bit of a buzz just distributing it. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Again, kids, don't sticky stuff and drive, because we'll bang, okay? Flashlight like buggy. And as always, most importantly, even when the sticky stuff has me a little bit high, goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.